It's the one place in Las Vegas where our decade of growth has produced an abundance of new adventures. We tame the technology of irrigation controllers. Maple glazed carrots make a divine winter dish. And there are many more stories at the Springs Preserve where all that matters is what's elemental. We pride ourselves on being the place in Las Vegas to escape, explore, and connect with nature. So much so that we're constantly evolving and changing and finding ways to provide each and every guest on each and every visit a wonder-filled experience. And with 180 acres, you're sure to find a new adventure around every corner. We've experienced a lot of growth over the last 10 years, adding to what was already a wide and varied assortment of experiences. And while we may have matured a bit in that time, we haven't lost any of our childlike playfulness.
We're so excited because we're constantly growing, we constantly have new things. The playground, UNLV designed it for us. The kids love it. It has a musical area in it, so you can play drums, you can play some xylophones, so it's really fun to go by and see like kids playing away. You can hear the music as you're walking by. It's super fun, so I think everyone really loves it.
While designed for our youngest visitors, even those young at heart will be able to bring out their inner child for some play. But if your designs favor the nostalgic, you'll love exploring the origins of our great city, stepping down our recreated Las Vegas historical streetscape, restored to its 1905 glory.
You get there, you experience Las Vegas, you see the cottages that we refurbished, you can experience how it is to live back in 1905 by just seeing all the things that are inside. Of course, there's the bank, there's Arizona Club, there's the hotel, there is a merchant store that you can go inside and see some of the things that you can buy in 1905, so very, very cool.
And just across the street from Boomtown is our newest attraction, the long-awaited Waterworks. Built right into the functioning Charleston Heights pumping station, Waterworks reveals the story of water for our valley and the world. Presented by the Las Vegas Valley Water District, Southern Nevada Water Authority, and Springs Preserve in partnership with One Drop, with contributions from the RBC Blue Water Project and Springs Preserve Foundation, this exhibit literally charts the course of water from the source in the Rocky Mountains, down the Colorado River to Lake Mead, and all the way to your tap. Then, on the upper concourse, we see how vital water is to our existence, and how for many in the world, access to this vital resource is challenging. In our desert, water is scarce, except when it is overabundant. Our flash flood exhibit has been a guest favorite from the beginning. Kids come back time and time again to experience the full force of these floods from the safety of a raised platform.
When the kids come, if they've been here with a school group, they're going to tell their parents, we need to go see the flash flood and experience the excitement of seeing all that water rushing towards you and hearing the noise and watching the video and kind of experiencing that is really fun. The kids love it.
From the stimulating to the sublime, the Springs Preserve can transform from a boisterous, busy amusement park to a tranquil, even romantic retreat for adults looking for a quiet dinner, followed by after-hours fun inside Origin Museum.
We have the Divine Cafe. We also have happy hour here, so you can enjoy some live music and have something to eat, enjoy the specials up there. And then on third Thursdays, you can do that as well as come down, enjoy the museums for a discounted cost, free for our members. And it's a little quieter, it's a kind of a magical place when it closes down.
Adults also benefit from our ongoing continuing education programs for personal enrichment.
Of course, lots of gardening. We have water smart classes. We have master gardeners here every weekend, so you can walk through, you can take a free tour. And then, of course, different cooking classes we offer through Divine. There's a lot of different offerings here.
For the more intrepid adventurer, the Springs Preserve offers over 80 acres of wild open space to hike or bike, picnic, or sightsee. It's a natural oasis right in the middle of the bustling metropolis with an astonishing variety of wildlife for animal lovers of all ages.
You might see quail, you might see antelope ground squirrels, you might catch a glimpse of a gray fox. Lots of different birds migrating to and from this area, so pretty exciting to hike on those trails, and it's really, really cool, and it's really fun if you're looking for an outdoor adventure.
An adventure made even more accessible by a 20-minute narrated ride on our open-car trackless train. Or adjacent to our train station is our bike rental kiosk, where you can rent a variety of bikes that will accommodate each member of your family.
If you want a little bit more exercise, we have different bikes. We have adult bikes, we have bikes for kids, bikes with training wheels, we have carriers for little ones. So when the weather's nice, it's really nice to be able to kind of take your time, park your bike, look at some of the scenic overviews, read some of the interpretive panels, and ride your bike. Or if you don't have that kind of time and maybe you want to sit back and enjoy, ride the train and listen to the tour that we have that goes on, talks about the Springs Preserve and the history of the site and some of the things you see on your train ride through the property.
And complementing the existing museums, galleries, and exhibits at the preserve is the Nevada State Museum, a cultural attraction of national stature. Combined, we've created a venue of sites and activities that can be perfectly catered to each visitor's desired experience.
When people come to the Springs Preserve, it can be kind of overwhelming because there's so much here. It's like, where do I start? What should I see? And the great thing about it is that you can really kind of customize your visit every time you come. So it's like, you know what, today I want to go see the exhibits. I want to see the new traveling exhibit. I want to see a new art exhibit. So I'd recommend maybe starting the galleries. You know what, I want to spend outside. It's fall weather. It's beautiful. I want to spend some time in the garden. I might recommend taking one of the garden tours, seeing the butterfly habitat.
Sometimes referred to as the Central Park of Las Vegas, the Springs Preserve has grown to become an icon steeped in local history and culture. And we've only begun to grow and evolve to meet the needs of this vibrant city, providing our community a lifetime of adventure.
Over 10 years, I watched it evolve and change and grow. And every year we add something new. So if you've been here before, you may have seen something and you thought, oh, I've seen that already. Well, you haven't seen this, and you haven't seen Boomtown, you haven't seen Waterworks, you haven't seen that new traveling exhibit. So come by, explore, there's always something new to see. We want you to come back, we want you to bring your friends, and just enjoy everything that's always evolving and changing and growing and blooming. So please come by and check it out. It's a pretty amazing place.
The award-winning Springs Preserve gift shop is an attraction unto itself. We've gathered the best selection of locally created, sustainably produced items found in Las Vegas. Here, you'll find one-of-a-kind jewelry, art, books, clothing, and much more. Many of the items are created by local artists and are exclusive to our gift shop. It's worth a trip on its own. So stop by or get more information at springspreserve.org. Though seemingly fragile, most children have a remarkable resiliency when it comes to dealing with life's challenges. That youthful characteristic is exemplified beautifully in the latest exhibit to grace the Origin Museum. The Power of Children, a National Endowment for the Humanities grant-funded exhibit, might seem at first to be untypically serious for the Springs Preserve. But when carefully considered, it's an inspiring triptych telling 3 independent stories of triumph over tragedy.
It's a little more serious and a little more somber, but it's a really timely exhibit. This is a good time to talk about some of the concepts that are explained in The Power of Children. It's about serious issues like discrimination and isolation, but it's also about the power that children have to make a difference in their community, and it's about hope. So being able to use their voice, their words, and their actions to make changes even at a very young age.
The 3 children featured in this exhibit are Anne Frank, Ruby Bridges, and Ryan White. Anne Frank famously documented the horrors of the Holocaust in her diary, which has since become a standard in classic literature. Ruby Bridges was among the first Black children to be integrated into the white school system in New Orleans in 1960. And Ryan White contracted AIDS through medication for his hemophilia and was expelled from his school. Each of these children overcame their personal struggles to become powerful voices for positive change in the world.
We definitely expect people to be very moved by this exhibit. I think we want people to feel like they, in their moments of feeling powerless, are not. They actually can make changes and influences in big ways and small ways. So we want them to walk away feeling empowered. It's called The Power of Children Making a Difference, and that is something that people can do.
Anne, Ruby, and Ryan refuse to be overwhelmed by adversity, each independently finding within themselves a strength that galvanized change. The Power of Children brings that message of healing and hope, now with unanticipated yet unusual relevance for Las Vegas.
So even though this exhibit is a little bit different for us, we all know that Vegas is a very strong community and a very involved community. And so this is another way to reinforce that idea that we can make differences locally. So even though it's a little bit different from our usual message, it's very timely for Vegas as a community and also in our country. It's a very timely conversation. These are things that kids are reading about and hearing about and learning about. So this exhibit gives families a way to start these discussions in a way that's moving and powerful and constructive.
Embrace the holiday spirit at the Springs Preserve with train rides to Santa's magical village and festive activities including photos with Santa, holiday crafts, cookie decorating, holiday stories, a nutcracker display, and more. Then, after your home festivities are over, let that holiday magic continue by bringing your natural Christmas tree to any of more than 30 Valley locations, and we'll recycle it into life-giving mulch. There is no charge for this service. Go to springspreserve.org for more information. When a not-for-profit organization looks for ways to use its resources, it works much like a gardener. It carefully sows the seeds of partnership that might produce a bountiful harvest to nourish and sustain its mission. So when organizations, foundations, and individuals are tilling the soils of opportunity for such a partner, we hope the Springs Preserve is the locally grown, all-natural choice. Mutual missions, but distinctly different resources and challenges brought the Rogers Foundation and the Springs Preserve together in an ideal collaboration.
Perfect marriage, both care about this community, care about educating kids to bolster our future, so I think this was a match that was meant to be.
I think the Rogers Foundation and the Springs Preserve are a perfect match because the Rogers Foundation is passionate about creative ways to educate youth in our community and really cares about providing a quality experience for the students. And the Springs Preserve wants to do the exact same thing. We want to get kids outside and we want to teach them in ways that they don't necessarily get those opportunities in the classroom.
By providing a $100,000 grant, the Rogers Foundation gave roots to an effort that turned 13,000 square feet of arid caliche-encrusted dirt into a thriving, living outdoor classroom. Here, young gardeners-to-be literally try their hands at growing their own food, a process that can sometimes be a dirty business.
I am here today to proclaim that manicured fingernails are swell, but a little dirt under the nails, in the knuckles, on the knees, is testament to the fact that you've planted seeds, nurtured them, and watched over them vigilantly.
I just want them to walk away with a new experience because that's where an education happens. Hopefully, this is something they've never done before, something they'll enjoy and they can appreciate, where the food comes from.
By joining with a compatible partner and coordinating the unique resources of each, the results have proven to be exponential.
Las Vegas needs all the education and outdoor opportunities and creative ways to learn that it can get. So partnerships with the community like the Rogers Foundation and other organizations that support the Springs Preserve are critical to the Springs Preserve, providing more programs. We can have access to a lot more resources and educate more youth in the community, and that's really what we're here to do. So we want to provide as many creative outdoor opportunities to learn about sustainability, conservation, and science and nature.
But making these creative outdoor opportunities possible requires more than financial capital. It also takes a lot of sweat equity. Fortunately for the Springs Preserve, there have been eager community volunteers and organizations like Timberland, AmeriCorps, and MGM Resorts International that found they had plenty of youthful muscle they could offer.
The Springs Preserve looks for potential donors and organizations that value the same things that the Springs Preserve values. So those values are being passionate about sustainability, conservation efforts, and really just educating the youth in the community.
There are innumerable ways to become part of this mission, and they cross a wide spectrum, from individually becoming a donor member or a valuable part of our volunteer staff to bringing the full force of an international nonprofit to cooperatively create a new interactive attraction like Waterworks to our permanent facility.
So we've had a long-standing relationship with Cirque du Soleil and One Drop, and for this particular exhibit, they brought in RBC's Blue Water Project to help fund this exhibit. along with some funding from the Springs Preserve Foundation, we were able to put this incredible exhibit together for our community to learn about water.
For us, it was a good community to have this project because there is a big water problem in Las Vegas, being in the desert community. So we saw the evident leak. I mean, we wanted people to understand that water is life. Water is a source of everything. And by partnering up with the Springs Preserve, it was a good partnership to demonstrate that and showcase that.
With community and global partners like these, who've invested in our community and rolled up their sleeves, we can all enjoy the harvest of a more sustainable future. 'Tis the season for gifting and giving. Give the gift of year-long adventure with a Springs Preserve membership, now with even more perks. Check out our new Bronze and Silver State Pass membership levels that give you and your family more than ever. Unlimited butterfly habitat visits, year-round train rides, free admission to select special events, cafe and gift shop discounts, guest passes, and more. Learn more and find the perfect fit for those on your list at springspreserve.org. As part of our 10th birthday celebration, we challenged the many creative photographers in our community with a unique photo contest. The theme was the number 10, and the results exceeded our expectations tenfold.
The photo contest is something the Springs Preserve has done numerous times now. Something we started doing every year, and then we kind of decided to do it every other year. And we just turned 10 this year, so we thought it was a good time to kind of bring it back and look at a variety of things that folks in the community would be able to shoot for us.
Not only did we provide an outlet for creative expression, it was an opportunity to snap up some cash as well.
This is open to professional and amateur photographers. Anybody can submit a photo. There was a small registration fee. There are cash prizes involved for the winners, and we have both adult and youth categories. And last year, or the last time we had done it, I do believe our best in show was won, in fact, by someone in the youth category.
A little competitive nature, all for the sake of celebrating and honoring the Springs Preserve's decade in the desert.
This year's theme is everything 10. So we wanted everything from things that you would see looking through the eyes of a 10-year-old, things in numbers of 10. We left it kind of loose to be interpreted by the artist in any way that they felt was appropriate.
It's a true production of some of the most enduring images to grace our Big Springs Gallery and will be on display through January 9th. Start your new year with our beautiful new 2018 Springs Preserve calendar, showcasing the many adventures that await all year long. It's free for members as our way of saying thank you for supporting the Springs Preserve. Pick yours up while supplies last at our gift shop. Just show your member ID. See springspreserve.org for more information. New technology in irrigation controllers is taking some of the uncertainty and confusion out of the process of keeping our desert landscaping properly watered. With our relatively mild winter months, now is a perfect time to review, reset, repair, or even replace those controllers.
Today we're going to talk about some of the great choices that we have out there for smart controllers. If you own your home and you're thinking about upgrading or looking for a new controller for your home, you'll want to look for certain features. Does it have multiple programs? Does it have multiple start times? And can I water everything that I want to grow with it? So the first thing you'll want to do with your controller is set the current date and time. It's very easy to do, and it's usually the first item on the dial. The next feature that we're going to discuss is programs. They give you the ability to tailor a schedule specific to a plant type. So that's very important. Grass doesn't need the same watering schedule as trees. So you'll ideally want to have at least 4 programs. 1 for grass, 1 for trees, 1 for shrubs, and 1 for something fun and special like vegetables, annual color, perennials, whatever you'd like. Most controllers have a program button, and when it's turned on the display, when you push it, it will cycle through the number of programs. The next capability that a clock has is multiple start times. So rather than just running a particular program at one time during the day, it has the ability to start for you 4 to 8 times a day. A start time gives you the ability to break up a total run time
into several pieces. The reason for this is you may have an issue with where you're watering. Maybe you're on a slope and the water starts to run off after 10 minutes, but your plants need 30 minutes of water. So what are you going to do? You're going to break it into 3 start times of 10 minutes each, spaced an hour to an hour and a half apart, so that the water can slowly penetrate and percolate down into your soil, and then you got a happy plant. The last 2 settings on your controller are going to be your run times. The run time is going to be the total amount of time to wet the soil deep enough for whatever plant it is you're watering. And the next one will be watering days. Most controllers run on a calendar week, 7 days, and most of them have the capability of scheduling over a 2-week time frame. However, some of the newer controllers can do interval spacing and odd even days and give you the option to spread your watering out over 31 day to 6-week periods.
Some of the most common issues that you'll find with a clock if it's not working properly is the wiring. Your first port is going to be your common wire, which is most commonly white, which is connected to your actual clock that runs to the solenoid of your actual valve. Something else that you want to make sure is that your wires are wrapped around your common wire very tight and snug before you add your wire connector. And what you want to do is go ahead and push down really tight on your connector and start to turn at the same time as it starts to tighten. And that way you know you've got a nice snug, nice fit.
Hopefully you've made the choice to upgrade to a smart controller. But do understand that there are controllers out there with even bigger and better features now. You can get them with weather sensors, rain sensors, soil moisture sensors, and now they have Wi-Fi capable controllers that you can operate from an app on your phone. So in case of a weather event, you can turn it off or reschedule it for another day.
And lastly, what you want to do, and ideally, is you want to test your irrigation quite often and normally dusk or dawn to see if your emitters and your irrigation system is running properly.
Our newest permanent attraction, Waterworks, features dynamic, hands-on experiences that will engage visitors of all ages in the inner workings of water treatment and delivery in Southern Nevada. Visit indoor galleries and then move outdoors for an international perspective. It's built right into our operational Charleston Heights pumping station, providing a unique look at how water is reliably delivered from the source to your tap. Waterworks is open during our regular operating hours. See springspreserve.org for more information. Too often, vegetables play a supporting role to meats and main entrees in our daily meal planning. With some clever carving and inspired spices, Chef Cicely transforms the lowly carrot into a center stage performer.
Howdy folks, thanks for joining me, Chef Cicely, here at the Divine Cafe at the Springs Preserve. It's winter here in the valley and it's a great time to start cooking up some of those delicious root vegetables. So what I'll be making today is some sauteed carrots with a maple and ginger glaze. Carrots are an interesting sort of root vegetable to saute because oftentimes when we chop, there's something just terrible that happens with simply slicing a carrot. And that is that the carrot pieces on the end are huge and the carrot pieces at the beginning are small. That's a problem because then as they saute and they all cook up at the same time, I get a little mushy carrot and then I get a little hard crunchy carrot. And the texture's all off and it's all different. So what I would like to talk about today is how to do something that is called a faux tournée of a carrot. It's a particular way to cut it that's super easy and looks really elegant and also helps the dish cook more evenly and cook faster. So I would take a carrot, I would simply peel off the outside, and then what I do is I take my knife and lay it on what's called a bias. So instead of up and down, I'm gonna lay it over on the side just a little bit. And then holding my carrot, I'm gonna slice it, rotate it 1/4 turn, big slices on the bottom, 1/4 turn, 1/4 turn, every time I slice. And then as I get further up the carrot where it gets bigger, I make those turns a little bit smaller so that by the time I'm done with it, I've got a bunch of carrot pieces, and I dare you to tell me which piece came from the teeny end of the carrot and which end came from the big end. They're all gonna cook great evenly because they are on the same side. So after I took all those carrots and I sliced them up, I'm gonna do two things. The first thing I'm gonna do is start sauteing some onions to give my dish a nice flavorful base. In a separate pan, I'm going to take some butter, and then I'm gonna combine it with some maple syrup, and I will add some lemon, and then also, just before it's done, some freshly grated ginger. Both pans have been combined. Now they're just continuing to meld, and I'm probably gonna let that cook and simmer down until the liquid that's in the pan is reduced by about half. Alrighty. And here we have a lovely, lovely side dish for the holidays that I may choose to garnish with any number of things, including some cinnamon and perhaps candied pecans. If I want perhaps a sweet dish, I might combine that with some nutmeg or even fresh ground cinnamon. Or I perhaps might do microgreens and a side of creme fraiche as a dollop on the side for this dish as I serve it with perhaps a pot roast, a turkey, prime rib, you name any of those delicious winter dishes in those casseroles. This is gonna go fantastic with it. But it could also do double duty for something else. So this side dish could even be repurposed. Let's say perhaps if we didn't eat it all, or I wanted some leftovers or a really rich dish for lunch the next day, I might take all of this, all the dishes, that the amount that didn't get eaten, right into my machine. And then think about all those lovely flavors I had in there. I got maple, I've got butter, I've got ginger. What is gonna make an amazing addition to turn this into a beautiful pureed soup is actually going to be coconut water, and for a little bit of thickness and the texture, coconut milk. That's what I'm gonna loosen it up with. If you want like a richer dish, vegetable stock or chicken stock works amazing. I'm gonna get this guy going, and he's gonna run for about 5 minutes till it's a lovely texture that I like. And when he's done, I will have some delicious options of soup that I can garnish with perhaps microgreens, a little bit of creme fraiche, or cinnamon sticks, candied pecans, fresh cinnamon, and fresh nutmeg. Those dishes can be served either hot or cold, eaten for lunch, eaten for a snack, eaten for dinner the next night. So here you have it, carrots done 3 different ways for 3 easy and delicious ways to eat them. Thank you so much for joining me, Chef Cicely, here at the Divine Cafe, the Springs Preserve. I hope to see you soon.
There's a lot more to discover, so join us next time here at the Springs Preserve, where our newest adventures, gardens of generosity, and divine culinary creations mingle to bring new life to Las Vegas.